the vertex P0, where it starts. And while we are doing this, every time we cross, we calculate the intersection. You see, check if there is an intersection here. If there is, we calculate the intersection point and enter that into our sequence of points that we are crossing. So we start with P0 here, then we go to P1, but when we do that, we see P1 is on a different side of the plane. So we calculate the intersection point that intersected here. In between, of course, because we know that they are in between those 2 points, because we know that the points are on the side of the plane. Then we come to P2, and then P4, P5, and P6, and then we're back again at P0. And of course here we don't have these, P2, we also have here, of course, let's call it I0 dash. Because here, of course, we get another intersection point. So for now, we just extend the intersecting against this specific plane here. So of course, we only get these 2 intersection points. We don't know about this one yet. Only these 2 here, but this is, of course, one that I forgot to create. And one from tested to pay attention. Good. And then, of course, we have these enter, but we also check on which side of the plane it is. We also know, of course, that these 2 are outside. So what we do now is we just exclude this part here, and then we have a new polygon, which is, of course, everything but this part here. And then we do the same against another image. No. We do the same against this one, where we again start. Now we're walking from I0. What's this? Let this work. Anyway, so we move that. So, and now we're walking along here. We have extended this one. And then we see, of course, we're creating here 2 new intersection points, I1 and I2. So from P0, we get to I0. And then we have a new intersection point here, which is called I1. Then we come to this intersection point here, I0 dash. And then to P3. And then to IN2, which is a new intersection point that we find here, then to P4, and then of course it continues here, so we're again at P0. And then we see we have these 2 new intersection points that also indicate that this part here is outside of the viewing plane, so we exclude it here, and we get the polygon, which is, at least that's nice, so we can very clearly see that's getting away. Alright, so this is pretty simple and pretty straightforward. I just wanted to go through one of the steps to really show each example of it. So we see this works, but unfortunately it doesn't always work, because we have situations like this, where the algorithm, if you apply it, I'm not going to do it here, but have it in the tutorials, and of course we can also use this as an example to apply yourself as an exercise, a good exercise. But if you apply it, if algorithm to it, you will not get something like this, which is of course what you would want. But what you get is something like this. So if you draw that, you get this extra line here, which is of course not what we want. We want to only have these 2 here. So this is a problem with this algorithm, and that is why we often use this other algorithms, and one of the most popular ones is the White-Everson algorithm, which I'm going to break here. So I'll probably get a little longer the first part, and then perhaps more short. So because I don't like to stop breaking between one algorithm. So let's continue. So the White-Everson algorithm is basically of that is that we create a graph that represents our fitting area corpus, our polygons, in a way that we can very easily extract these polygons from the graph. So what we do is we create a graph that represents the polygon. So we start by making a graph that contains polygon vertices. So for each polygon here, for each vertex of the polygon P0 to P6, which is P8, we see we have a vertex here, so that is the white one here, P0 to P8. We create vertices for the fitting region, which are here the green ones, and we create vertices for the intersections, which are the red ones. I will explain later why I use different shades of red here. But first of all, we have these different types of vertices, and now we want to put edges into the graph that represent the shape of the polygon, the shape of the fitting region, and the relation to the intersection point, and then later help us extracting these 6 polygons. So first of all, we start by integrating the edges that represent the shape of the polygon, and that would of course mean, if we start with P0, that would be directed edges, so we go from P0 to P1 to P2, and so on, so to up at P8, and then we go back to P0. But of course that only represents the polygon. If we want to use it to extract the eclipse polygons, we need to also see how the intersection points relate to that, and that is why we say here, when we go along the boundary of the polygon, we include the intersection vertices. So what we do is here, we start again at one point, and then we walk along the borders of the polygon until we reach the end, and then we include each transition to another vertex by an edge, a directed edge in the graph. But we also include the intersection point, so from P0 to P1, we get an intersection point, so we don't go here, but we go in the graph, we go here. Then from I0 we reach P1, so we go here. From P1 we go to P2, from P2 we go to P3, from P3 to P4 we see that we're intersecting, that shows that we're intersecting here, so we calculate the intersection points and include that in the graph. Then we go to P4, then we come to P5, then we get another new intersection point that we enter, then we go to P6, then we go to P7, then we go to P8, and then we get another intersection point, which is I1, and then we come back to our original starting point of the polygon. So we walk around the whole polygon and include the intersection point that are represented now in the graph. Now we see that from the graph structure we can reconstruct the shape of the polygon. And now we do the same for the fitting region, so you see here, we also walk along the edges of the boundary of the fitting region. So we start, for example, with R0, and walk around here, and now we have already calculated these intersection points, so we were passing here, we're also passing these intersection points, and then these we can also include them in our graph. So from R0, we come to R1, from R1 we come to I0, from there we come to I1, from I1 we come to R2, from R2 we come to I2, from I2 we reach I3, from I3 we reach R3, here, and from R3 we reach again R0. So let's see, did I draw this correctly? Yeah, I think so. Good. So, so we see that we can create this graph, and this graph now represents both our fitting region and our polygon, and the relation to the intersection point, and with the relation to the intersection point, of course, we get also the relation between the fitting region and the polygon. So what we do now is we use this graph to create these 6 polygons, and we do this by taking advantage of what I ignored so far, which is this one step here, that we distinguish between outgoing intersections and incoming intersections. I made this by giving them a color red or light red or pink in this graph image here. So if we are going from the inside of the fitting region to the outside, this is an outgoing vertex, illustrated red here. If Because also here, from when we walk along the polygon, we go outside of the clipping region. Hence, in the other case, we have an incoming vertex because we go from the outside to the inside of the clipping region. And also illustrate that it's important that when we apply the algorithm, that we both cases walk in the same direction. So, for example, in this case, we both times walk clockwise, and that is important because otherwise we run into problems when we use this graph to extract the polygons from the graph. This is polygons from the graph. And because we do this by first taking an outgoing intersection vertex and then walk along the boundary of the clipping region, which are the black edges in the graph. So we start with an outgoing edge. So, for example, I0. And I purposely did not draw the image here, put the image here, so you can see that we can extract it just from the graph. We walk along the boundaries of the clipping region, so the black vertices in this graph here, so we get as an x1 and I1. And then we do this until we reach an incoming intersection vertex, which is what we do now, here, I1. And then we switch to not walking around across the boundaries of the clipping region, but we walk across along the boundaries of the polygon, so we follow the rest edges here, so we come to P0. And then we continue walking here until we reach the starting vertex, which in that case we already did these two steps. So this is then our fifth polygon. If you look at the image, then you see, of course, that this is correct. This is the first fifth polygon. In the second case, we have one vertex more here, but if you apply the algorithm, then you see that this will again result in the perfectly correct polygons here. Now there is one step here that I excluded, which is that notate that we didn't need. We didn't use this changing from polygon boundary to clipping region step here, because that is the case that didn't happen here. But you can, should I give you an example, or should I refer to the tutorial? Can anyone have an idea? Just think about different more real cases. For example, something like this. Then you'll realize that you have to make more switches between the left and right side here, or the right and the right edges. But this is an algorithm that works with we don't have the polygon, so this here is more complicated than a cross algorithm, but it's still intended to implement with the graph, which or intended to represent with the graph, which means it can also be very easily implemented and gives us then the correct cases polygons. Good. Yeah, and actually that worked out quite well. So, any questions? If not, then it's time for a break. Alright, welcome back. So we see now that how to deal with this case here where we have a triangle that is partly inside of the view custom and partly outside of it, how to flip it and create a new triangle that is completely inside of the view custom. And then of course indirectly also solve this situation that we have here. Oops. That the triangle is completely outside of the view custom because if we test it against the new place, we realize all four vertices are outside, so we can remove it. But of course this is not a very efficient approach if we have a huge amount of triangles. So for example, if we think about a very complex figure like a character in a game, like a dinosaur, for example, that is made among like hundreds or thousands of single triangles and fitting each of these triangles against the view volume doesn't really make sense. So it would make sense to first exclude it before we do anything, and secondly not to test each individual triangle of this character, but test the game character as a whole, under the 3D model as the 3D model of this character as a whole. And this is done in a process called culling, and you already, I hope this word sounds familiar to you because it's also one of the exercises in the programming assignment, the last one. So that's now let's look into this case where we have a situation where we say we have a group of triangles or that we want to test against the view custom and remove for culling. So for example, if we have this game character like a dinosaur that's made of thousands of single triangles, instead of testing all these triangles, we can say, well, we'll just do a general test that specifies if the character as a whole is intersects with the view custom, and if it does, then we start checking each triangle of its intersect and response. And that would save us a lot. Now of course, how do we test the whole character, the whole 3D model against the view custom? One easy way to do it is to not check the actual how do we check that without checking the individual triangles? And what we need, of course, to make a bounded volume around it, like a box or a sphere that contains the character as a whole. Then we test this box or this volume against the view custom. If it doesn't intersect, we know of course that all the triangles within this volume will also not intersect or not be inside, so we can exclude it, we can cull it. But if it intersects, then there is a chance of course that the triangles that are inside of this volume might also intersect. And I say might intersect because of course the character or the model itself, only parts of it might intersect. So not each individual triangle might intersect, and also of course the volume might intersect, but not the triangles within the volume, because of course the volume has some other space in there. If we don't have the other space, we have the shape of the character, which would again require us to check each individual triangle. So we have a more simple shape across it, and we test that shape, and then we know we kind of not exclude all characters or all ones that are outside of the view custom, but we exclude a huge amount of it. And that is of course why this is I already answered the question here, why this is called a conservative test. So for example, if this bounding volume is a sphere that we make across a 3D character, then we make a test, and then of course we have empty space here in the sphere where there is no triangle from the character, and it's also empty space to intersect. We make unnecessary triangle tests here, but we rather say make some unnecessary triangle tests, but actually instead of risking that we are cutting off objects that might models that might actually intersect a little bit. So this is why this is called a conservative test. Now the question is of course, the question is what kind of volume do we use? And you see that I'm using here a sphere, and that is because with the sphere, the intersection test is very easy. We can very easily do